Part 1. The Perfect Performer Trap. Jordan and Brett stepped through the doors of this corporate tower on the same sun-drenched Monday. Same onboarding, same manager, and the exact same starting salary, $52,000. Jordan decided right away to be the company's workhorse, believing that sheer grind was the only path to the top. He was always the last one out, staying late long after the rest of the office had commuted back to their cozy suburbs. Answering work emails at 10 p.m. became Jordan's standard evening routine. He never pushed back, never caused friction, making himself as convenient as possible for leadership. Jordan truly believed, if I'm the good soldier, success will eventually find its way to my door. 3 years passed and Brett, the same guy from day one, had already been promoted twice. Now Brett is pulling in $74,000, sitting in a plush corner office with a view. Meanwhile, Jordan is still at the same desk, in the same uncomfortable chair. 2 measly cost of living adjustments in 3 years. That was the company's thanks for his loyalty. For the first time, Jordan seriously considered just walking out and quitting on the spot. But then he asked himself the right question. What does Brett know that I don't? If you're working like a dog but standing still, this video is about to change your life. The secret to success isn't working harder. You're already giving everything you have. The difference lies in 12 specific moves that the Bretts of this world make quietly, confidently, and strategically. Some of these moves are so subtle you've probably seen them happen 100 times a day. You were looking right at them, but you never realized that was the ladder up. Enough with the motivational fluff. Today we're breaking down the real, unfiltered career growth playbook. Get ready. Every tip builds on the last, and the finale will rewrite your reality. Part 2. The visibility gap and the strategic no. Brett's first secret was simple, yet Jordan had been completely blind to it. While our diligent hero performed his work in silence, Brett made his contributions loud and public. It's called output visibility, and it's often more important than the technical work itself. Brett never just sent a report. He always attached a mini-story highlighting the impact. Jordan assumed the data would speak for itself. It didn't. Data is usually silent. He just hit send and wait for management to discover his genius on their own. But in the modern office, invisible work is treated as work that never happened. The second move was Brett's uncanny ability to say no to low-glory tasks. Jordan said yes to everything, slowly becoming the dumpster for everyone else's tedious, minor chores. Meanwhile, Brett only accepted projects that were visible to the C-suite. While Jordan was digging through archives, Brett was grabbing lunch with the VP at the high-end bistro around the corner. Jordan thought it was unfair, but it was actually a cold-blooded strategy of goal selection. Brett's third move, he never went to his boss empty-handed. He never brought up a problem without serving up 3 possible solutions on a silver platter. Managers hate thinking for you. They want to quickly choose the best prepackaged path. Jordan forced his boss to work for him by bringing nothing but complaints and questions. The hacker showed Jordan that his diligence was just fuel for someone else's dreams. You can be the world's best engine, but it doesn't matter if you aren't connected to the wheels. Until Jordan changed his tactics, he would remain a convenient cog in the machine. Today, we learn how to turn your daily grind into a weapon that cannot be ignored. Part 3. Vertical networking in the language of business. The hacker led Jordan to the cafeteria, where Brett was once again laughing with a director. Jordan dismissed it as sucking up, but it was actually strategic vertical networking. Brett knew the names of the executives, but also their executive assistants and secretaries. These are the gatekeepers who control the ears of the big bosses, and Brett knew it well. Jordan, however, only socialized with other workhorses like himself. They complained in the break room, but none of them had the power to change anything. The hacker pointed out that Brett builds bridges long before he actually needs to cross them. When Brett needed a favor, he asked for it as a friend. Jordan only asked for help when his world was literally on fire. In those moments, he looked like a panicked amateur, not a future leader. You need to know the captain before the ship starts sinking. The next step was a radical shift in the way Jordan spoke to upper management. He buried them in technical jargon, but the bosses only cared about bottom line and risk. Brett translated his wins into the language of dollars and time saved. Even a simple task was presented as strategic cost optimization for the department. Jordan started to realize, it's not just about what you do, it's about how it sounds. It's not lying. It's seeing the forest for the trees, my friend. Every move you make must fit into the big picture your boss is trying to paint. The hacker pushed Jordan toward his first real conversation with Brett outside the office walls. It was time to see what was hidden behind that perfect smile in the branded corporate vest. Part 4. The 20% feedback loop. At the bar, Brett revealed his secret habit, early error detection. While Jordan waited months to present a perfect result, Brett always showed rough drafts. Show your work at the 20% mark so you don't have to redo it all at 100%. Jordan was deathly afraid of criticism, so he polished every detail to the point of exhaustion. Often he realized too late that he was polishing something nobody actually wanted. Brett got a quick yes or no at the start, saving himself weeks of wasted effort. This allowed him to stay relaxed and ready for new, high-level challenges. Jordan was always in crisis mode because he was fixing fundamental mistakes the night before the deadline. The next day, Jordan decided to test this with his major project. He went to his boss not with a finished deck, but with a rough outline of the concept. To his surprise, the manager didn't criticize him. He offered advice and guidance. Jordan realized people love feeling like they are part of the creative process. Now, it wasn't just Jordan's project. It was their project, and the boss would now defend it. The hacker pointed to the next target, documenting every single win within the company. Words vanish, but files and records live in the system forever, he reminded him. Jordan started saving praise from happy clients into a evidence of success folder. Before, he'd just smile at a compliment and forget it 5 minutes later. Now every thank you became a solid brick in his new invisible career fortress. Brett noticed the change in Jordan and, for the first time, looked at him as a peer. But the game was just beginning. The hardest stage was next, leadership without the title. Part 5. Leadership without a title. Jordan realized to be a leader, you don't wait for the brass nameplate on the door. The hacker showed him the fifth move, taking radical ownership of the team's overall result. When a project stalled, Jordan stopped saying, "That's not my job description." He became the person who said, "Let's figure out how we solve this together." He started organizing quick huddles to keep everyone in sync, making his colleagues' lives easier. People started coming to him for advice, even though he had no formal authority. Brett noticed and whispered, "You're creating your own gravity. That's what power is." The sixth move was subtler. Jordan started selling his team's wins to the higher-ups. He never stole the spotlight, he shared it, which made him a natural leader. A leader is someone who makes everyone around them 10 times stronger, the hacker reminded him. Jordan felt the atmosphere shift. He was no longer a cog, he was the engine. The next challenge awaited at the massive quarterly all-hands meeting in New York. Previously, Jordan would just sit in the back and pray nobody called on him. This time, the hacker forced him to prepare one piercing question about the company's future. When Q&A opened, Jordan raised his hand. The room went silent. His question wasn't about technical minutia. It was about strategic RO1 and market trends. The directors looked at each other. They were seeing the guy from the back cubicle for the first time. Brett, standing in the back of the hall, gave a subtle thumbs up. This was Jordan's total transformation, from a doer to a strategist. The hacker showed him that he was now a visible asset, someone too dangerous to lose. Part 6. Reputation as a shield in a crisis. The real crisis arrived when the company lost a massive contract with a tech giant like Tesla. The office spiraled into chaos. Rumors of mass layoffs began to flood the hallways. Jordan felt a pit in his stomach, but the hacker calmly placed a hand on his shoulder. "Your personal reputation is the only thing they can't fire," he whispered. Brett's seventh move, now applied by Jordan, be the rock during the storm. While others panicked, Jordan rallied the team to draft a pivot plan for the remaining accounts. He didn't go to management to ask about layoffs. He went to offer a loss mitigation strategy. This was the eighth move, seeing opportunity where others see a catastrophe. The bosses saw a man they could lean on when things got ugly. Jordan realized his previous diligence was just the foundation for this new character. The ninth move required him to master money speak at the highest level. He stopped counting hours and started counting the internal rate of return, an IRR. The hacker showed him how to document these wins for his upcoming salary review. Your contribution must be written in the ledger, not just in someone's memory. Meanwhile, Brett helped Jordan find a true mentor among the top-tier executives. That was the 10th move, finding someone who has already mapped the minefield. Jordan learned the unwritten rules of the office that they never teach in HR training. He realized that hard work was only 10% of the game. The rest was strategy. Jordan was now ready for the final push that would change his life forever. He no longer feared the layoff because he knew the market would now hunt for him. Part 7. The Magic of Public Recognition. Jordan grasped the 11th move. Your success must be visible to everyone. The hacker showed him how to light up his achievements for other departments. He started writing brief, high-impact updates on his team's wins for the company-wide channels. It wasn't bragging, it was professional reporting on where the company's capital was going. Colleagues began to see Jordan as the person in the eye of the storm. The 12th move taught Jordan to turn every failure into a masterclass. Even when he messed up, he did it publicly, showing exactly how he fixed it. That kind of transparency built a level of trust that even the most senior staff didn't have. People follow those who aren't afraid to be real and own their misses. Jordan felt his authority allowing him to actually influence the department's direction. He noticed executives started seeking his eye contact during high-stakes debates. It was a silent acknowledgement that he had become part of the company's intellectual capital. The hacker tracked every moment, recording Jordan's rising influence in real time. The old habit of just working was replaced by the habit of managing the perception of work. Jordan learned to give presentations that didn't just inform, they moved people to action. His voice grew steadier. His proposals carried the weight of the business. Brett would often stop by just to tap him on the shoulder and swap intel. They were now part of the elite club that understands how the machine actually runs. But the most important stage was ahead, turning that authority into cold hard equity. The hacker was preparing Jordan for what he called the $1 million maneuver. Part 8. Self-development as an investment. Jordan moved to the 13th move, investing in his own brain every single day. While others spent their evenings on Netflix, he was mastering process automation tools. He didn't wait for the company to pay for the course. He paid for it himself. Your brain is the only capital that is immune to global inflation. The next move was automating his own grind to free up time for strategy. Instead of 8 hours, he spent only 2 hours on the routine stuff. He used that free time to deep dive into the problems of the company's biggest clients. When the chance came to pitch a new product, Jordan was 200% ready. He prepared a deck that showed exactly how to win back that lost Tesla contract. This was the 15th move, becoming the indispensable expert in a high-stakes niche. His knowledge was now worth much more to the market than his current job title. Jordan began receiving regular poaching offers on LinkedIn from direct competitors. But he didn't rush to leave. He wanted to finish his game right here. He became the gray eminence of his department, the one the bosses consulted before deciding. Brett told him, "You've surpassed the teacher. Now you're playing the grand game." The hacker pointed to the chart. Jordan was now generating millions in value. His small frame no longer looked weak. It radiated executive presence. The old workhorse had finally transformed into a corporate grandmaster. Only 2 final moves remained until total victory and a life-changing shift. Get ready, these steps will change more than your bank account. They'll change your freedom. Part 9. The Power Negotiation. The moment came for the 16th move. Jordan scheduled a meeting for a total role review. He didn't come to ask for a raise. He came to discuss a new value structure. Jordan laid out the folder of his wins, backed by hard financial data and ROI. The hacker showed him that, at that very moment, a competitor's offer was already in his inbox. That was the 17th move, having leverage that you never have to scream about. Instead of haggling over a salary, Jordan proposed heading a new internal department. He knew it was cheaper for the company to give him power than to lose him to a rival. The CEO nodded and said, "We can't afford to let you walk across the street to our competitors." The 18th move was the win, not just in money but in total autonomy. The hacker faded into the shadows, leaving Jordan with one truth. Diligence without strategy is a trap. He now had the budget, the team, and the right to make the big calls. His former peers looked at him with a mix of envy and profound respect for the result. He no longer felt tired from work because he was finally the one directing it. Every meeting now started with his thoughts, not his silent consent. His visible value strategy had paid off 100% in this corporate chess match. Jordan finally got that corner office, but now he didn't even need it to feel successful. He realized his true power wasn't in the office. It was in his head. It was a triumph of strategic thinking over mere endurance and waiting. Brett walked in with a bottle of champagne to celebrate the start of a new era. But the final lesson was still ahead: how to sustain this success for the long haul. Part 10, the finale, your new version. 2 more years passed, and now Jordan was the wise mentor for the next generation. He saw his old self in them, the hardworking kid just waiting for a miracle. He knew now, one right strategic habit, applied over time, creates a totally different life. Brett and Jordan are now full partners, launching their own massive ventures. The difference between their careers and everyone else's wasn't luck or raw talent. It was 12 deliberate habits they implemented, step by step, into reality. Visible communication, solution-first thinking, and a network built in every direction. Leadership before the title, documented wins, and an unshakable reputation. Now you have the exact same blueprint that Jordan received. You can keep working hard and wait years for someone to notice you. Or you can pick just one of these 12 moves and start acting on it today. The world doesn't pay for your sweat. It only pays for the value you prove. Jordan closed his old laptop and for the first time felt the true freedom of choice. His bank account was now working for him, not the other way around. The hacker looked at the viewer one last time and placed a metallic finger to his mask. The secret is out for everyone, but only a few will actually use it. The ones who change nothing will remain Jordan version 1.0 for life. The ones who act today will be the Brett in someone else's success story. That new version of you starts right now, in this very second. The game is over. Now it's your turn to make the winning move.